Friday morning. It's been a couple days since we put a new video out. The video I put out yesterday was some footage from earlier in the week. We're on the back side of the place we were cutting on. It's a big place, almost a section. That's 640 acres for those who don't know land measurements. So this is back here where a lot of these strip pits are. Of course, that's an old pit over there. It's got quite a bit of water in it. Of course, what we're cutting on here is kind of, I guess, the overburden, the stuff they dug out to get to the coal. And the way I understand it, these pits here were active in the 30s and 40s. And it's amazing how big some of these walnut trees are that have grown on these pits. And man, this is pretty steep. Some of this here is pretty tricky cutting. I mean, this is rough cutting on the side of these things, because they're fairly steep. Of course, you're coming in low on the back side of your tree, then you're cutting straight down at a 90. That way you don't waste too much wood. You can kind of see there, just like I said, you can tell, how deep you got to cut sometimes to get down low. So yesterday I was over here by myself, and I cut several trees back that direction. Dad's here with me today, and he's cutting up here by the truck, and I wanted to come up here and kind of start where I left off and go back towards him. Now, I don't know what's on out through here. I'm sure there's walnut and water oak and everything scattered in through here. I'd say that's primarily what it's going to be. Of course, you can see some elm growing here. There's actually a pretty good sized elm right there, but we're hoping there's going to be quite a bit of walnut scattered up through here yet. Some of it we don't know how we're going to get out, because like I said, these berms on these pits are steep, and these pits are deep and full of water. So it's not going to be a walk in the park getting some of this stuff out of here. It's going to take a little bit of imagination on some of this stuff. Some of the stuff I cut yesterday is not going to be a joy to get out. So here in a bit, we're going to jump on the Ranger, and we're going to go look at some other timber on the farm where we think there's another draw full of walnut, hoping, fingers crossed. It's not a bad tree there. Yeah, he's a little on the small side. We'll leave him for seed. This is an interesting little cut here. I've made this one a handful of times myself. Well, you got a cluster of trees, and these two trees aren't really big enough to cut, and you can cut one of the group and still let the others grow. That's a pretty cool deal. I like doing that. I've actually been on some jobs now where years past that Dad's done this, and I think some other loggers have done it too, where you just cut the bigger tree off the group, and that'll kind of scar over and heal. And it's all they're ever going to be is lumber logs, but they're still growing. It's something to look forward to down the road, excuse me. And this here's a pretty good log, really. This bigger one, it's got some size to it. A little bit of height. We'll get it clipped off here and head out to the deck. steep stuff. Just the overburden of these old pits. It's, like I said, the way I understand it, these were dug back in the 20s or 30s, 40s, somewhere in there. So it's been a lot of time for these trees to grow. And these walnuts have grown pretty good on the side of these overburden piles, but they're a bear cat to cut and they're a bear cat to get out. Got 3 more up in here. One right there, of course, and 2 up in there. They're not going to be any fun to get either. Of course, this one here, I can grab it, and those 2 up there, I'll have to come in from the other way. I'm finishing up some stragglers this morning. Pretty good trees. Dad went to go look at some more timber, just not far from here. Now, the first thing we did this morning, I'd needed a main line for a while, and I actually bought 100 foot of 5/8 about 2 weeks ago, but I prefer to run swage cable. So yesterday, Brandon went down to Metropolis, Illinois to look at buying the dozer, and I was going to go with him, but I kind of felt bad. I wanted to go, but I knew I needed to work. But what I did have Brandon do, I had Brandon pick up 100 foot of 5/8, 3/4 swage to 5/8 from Walker Machinery, that's who I usually try to buy most of my chokers and cable and stuff like that from. So Brandon just stopped in there on Highway 60, picked that up for me, and I went and got it from him last night. And first thing this morning, Dad and I spooled up 100 foot. So it's almost like having a brand new machine now, having all that reach. It's the little things. I've got a few more to get out this morning, stuff just like that there, stuff I couldn't reach with what little bit of cable we did have on. So I'm finishing that up. And then there's some kind of up in there. We're going to try to get them. It's going to be a bear cat. They're good trees. We're going to get them, but it's going to take some doing. Even these here, you know, they were in a terrible place having to try to get this skidder in there, which I am by far not the best skidder operator in the world, but I've been running one of them since I was 13, and I'll take them a lot of places, I'll put it that way. I'm not too scared to put them in some nasty areas, and I feel comfortable and confident on the skidder. I've spent so much time on them anymore. I hate to run one, I honestly do, because I'm bored with it. But it's got to be done. But at the same time, I'm not. It doesn't bother me to take them into some pretty nasty holes. Especially this little 440. This thing, it gets around so good. It's agile, nimble, and small. So you can take it a lot of places. The only downside to it is how narrow it is. You'll put this thing up on 2 and 3 wheels a lot. That's getting to be a pretty good pile of walnut logs now. logs right there, especially this guy right here. That's a chunk of wood. Definitely worth building the road to. That guy right there ain't no slouch. Like I said, there's 2 or 3 more over there, and I'm gonna find a way to get them. If we gotta try out the work lights on that deer, we're gonna find a way to get them. I can't leave things like that. See if we can get these suckers out of here. Hey guys, if you like what you see, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for all of our latest videos.